Today, I interview USA retiree in the Philippines, Calvin from Kentucky. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake. Calvin and I are social distancing in our homes in the Philippines, so I will show you videos of some of my favorite spots in the Philippines while Calvin and I discuss his cost of living and life in the Philippines. I will take notes as Calvin speaks. Click the more information link below this video to get my notes from this interview. Okay, here's our recorded phone interview.
Yeah, I was in the Navy.
Hey, is it okay? Is it
never,
is it okay if I record this call for for my YouTube channel?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll put pictures of the Philippines since we don't have audio, since we don't have the video. But honestly, people don't really care. They just like hearing the information, and they like hearing it from that person's voice. So, if that's okay, I'll record this and put it on the YouTube channel. So you were saying you were in the Navy?
Okay. Yeah, I was in the Navy back in the 80s, but I had never visited the Philippines. People had always told me about the Philippines, and so it was actually 30 years later after I had gotten out of the Navy that I decided to visit here, and I've been coming ever since, on and off for the last 10 years.
Right, and you live here now, right?
Right. Yeah, I live here now. Been here for almost 2 years now.
Okay. And you were saying in the Cebu area?
Yes. But see, I've gotten caught. Now I'm trapped down here, and I actually have an apartment in San Carlos City. It's about 4 hours north of 𝐕𝐚𝐠𝐴, but I'm in Mindanao right now. I'm in Zamboanga City.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I've got some family here, so I was visiting them, and when the quarantine kicked in, and so now, I can't get back.
I see, yeah. So, and I think you mentioned that you went over a few details about your cost of living. If you could go over those again, that would be great. Like how much is your rent and utilities and that kind of thing?
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. So when I originally moved to San Carlos City, I was renting a fully furnished 2-bedroom from an Australian and his Filipino wife for 11,000 pesos. And then when my 6-month lease was up, I looked around and found a 2-bedroom house, which I stay in now, for 7,000. And it's about another 1,000 for the electricity, and then about 300 pesos for the water.
Wow.
Cable's about another 550 pesos.
Wow, that's really great.
Yeah, I found that the farther you get away from those major cities, the less the cost of living.
And
in this San Carlos City is considered a second-class city in the Philippines. So it's really nice. So they call it the second cleanest city in all of the Philippines, and I believe it.
Oh wow! And is that where you?
It's very clean.
Didn't you say you? So on top, I guess I should stay on that one subject for just a minute longer. So do you eat out at home a lot, or more out? Would you say?
Well, now I eat at home mostly now because it's just too expensive. I mean, when you're trying to, my extra money usually goes if I want to take a trip. If I want to go to like 𝐶𝐸 Island or Bohol or Boracay, so I'll go to the local market and usually buy my meat. Either chicken or fish. And then the vegetables, and I usually just cook at home. And I don't drink Coke anymore. A lot of times I'll drink either water or that fruit flavored water. So if you wanted an estimate of my monthly food bill is probably about 20,000 every month.
Okay. Holy cow, that's so cheap.
I'm way below. I'm way below 1,000 pesos, really. I mean, when you think about it. But like I said, I like to travel around the Philippines, so that's where a lot of my extra money goes for transportation and maybe Airbnb to whatever location I'm going to.
So, just with respect to your living costs without your traveling around the Philippines, what would you guess like an average month would be total?
I would say 40,000 pesos, around 800 US.
So
that's because my rent is so cheap.
Right.
Because my rent is so cheap, you know.
But would you say that your rent's below market, or is it about market for your city?
Well, it's about market for my city because I'm 4 hours. I'm actually in between Dumaguete and Bacolod City. Okay.
Okay.
But it's a smaller place. You know, it doesn't have as many foreigners as Dumaguete or Bacolod.
Which is great because you don't have the inflation in prices, right? You don't have a bunch of foreigners that are pushing prices up where you live.
Exactly. But it has, you know, it's a beautiful tennis court, clay court actually, 2 courts, and it has a walk-in area, you know, where a lot of the locals, you know, in the evening they'll go walking or jogging, you know, riding their bikes. I mean, nice parks. I mean, just a lot of open land. I mean, that you hardly ever see in the Philippines. You know, with grass. I mean, because, like I said, in this place, the people, soccer is really popular here. So, I mean, you may see on Sundays they have an adult league. Sometimes I just go down and sit by the basketball court and watch the adult soccer league. I mean, it's really, this city, San Carlos City, Negros Occidental, if you're a foreigner, it's the perfect place for you because you don't have to adapt as much. I mean, it's not like if you're living in Cebu City. It's like a concrete jungle or something. But here, I mean, it's really laid back. Like I said, it's not a whole lot of foreigners, and it's really a lot, you know, to do. See, I like to work out. So, you know, I can go to the gym. They have a nice gym. They actually have like 2 or 3 gyms there. And, you know, it's just been a great experience. I was lucky to find the place, really.
And that's included in your rent, right?
What's included in the rent?
The gym you're talking about, or is that a neighborhood gym?
No, it's just a neighborhood gym. It's 25 pesos just to go into the gym, but it's a new gym. It's located on the first floor of a new hotel that they built in San Carlos.
That's 50 cents.
Like I said,
50 cents to go to the gym.
50 cents every day, or you can pay, you know, 400 for the whole month. So that would even be less.
Wow. So, what part of the U.S. did you originally come from?
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, I have never been there.
What I like to call the city of the big 3: Kentucky Fried Chicken, Muhammad Ali, and me.
Well, I'm a fan of all 3, so I don't eat chicken myself anymore. I'm vegetarian, but growing up, I sure ate my share of it, and I'm a big Muhammad Ali fan. So, and they do have it in different parts of the Philippines. Chicken's a big thing here.
Yeah, they don't even know what KFC stands for. They call it KFC, but if you ask them, they don't know it stands for Kentucky Fried Chicken. I was shocked. So, you know, it's just KFC. It's just a brand here. So were you retired?
Did you retire Navy, or did you work between?
No. I'm actually an independent insurance agent, and I specialize in Medicare Advantage.
Oh, okay.
You know, in 2006, the government gave people with Medicare an option. You can get your health care through the government or a private insurer. So I represent, Humana, WellCare, Anthem on the private side. So you can actually get your Medicare through a private company. And it's a lot more comprehensive, all-in-one plans. They have some, some drawbacks being it's an HMO, but if you want additional benefits like, dental, vision, hearing, over-the-counter medication every month, your drug, prescription drug plan actually comes as part of the plan. And see, there's no additional cost to you. So it's really a good option for a lot of people.
So
do
you still work in that field, or are you retired now?
No, I do. I'm semi-retired. See, in the insurance business, you paid commission, but as long as your clients remain on your plan, you're paid what's called a renewal commission every month.
Okay.
And, like I said, this is my 17th year. I've built up a book of business. So, that's what I just, whenever I want a break, I'll come over here and maybe stay 2 or 3 years, and live off of that,
So, if people are interested in that, was that something you could sell them a policy and teach them about?
Sure, but now the way they would have to have a U.S. address because, of course, you have to live in the service area. But the good thing about Medicare Advantage is it covers you worldwide. But what they would do is they would reimburse you for an emergency, or say, for instance, if you had dialysis. But usually emergency, they would reimburse you. So it really wouldn't cover anything like just a normal office visit or something like that.
So should I put on the screen like your email or something, or a phone number for people in the States that are interested in finding out more about it?
Sure, you could put my email.
Okay.
𝐂𝐎𝐼𝐕𝐈𝐍𝐵@yahoo.com.
Okay, we'll do that, and then whoever's interested could email you on it. And so tell us a little bit about love. Didn't you mention maybe that you found love here in the Philippines too?
I did. I'm married, and we have a son, and this is his first year of attending school in the Philippines. We just wanted to see, he's in the first grade, so we wanted to see how he adapted to school here, and he really likes it. He attended kindergarten in the States last year, and they're just so serious about it. I've had discussions with his teachers and the counselors, and you would have thought he was in college. It's different than when I was going to kindergarten. So we wanted to be fun. It's a lot more fun here. The teachers are more patient here, and I don't think it's going to affect his learning. Matter of fact, he goes to a private school here, so I really like the education that he's received for this year.
Oh, cool. And is the woman that you married, is she Filipino?
She is. I met her on Cebuana.com 10 years ago, and she's of course in the States, but she's here now. But we did the fiancé visa, and she's been in the States for 5 years. It'll be 6 years in June. We'll be married 6 years in July.
I see. So was that a dating webpage you mentioned? Because I'm not familiar with it. I have a girlfriend, and I haven't been.
It is.
And how do you spell that? How do you spell that?
CEBUANAS.com.
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell your listeners something. I wouldn't suggest it now as I would 10 years ago. It's really changed. 10 years ago, I would have readily suggested, meeting somebody on a dating site. But probably, if I could do it all over again, I probably would have just taken a trip here and met somebody face to face. Because there's just so much, there's just so many scams and there's so many games that they're playing on those websites now that, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. And the reason I say is because I tried to get my friend, hooked up, and I gave him that information. And he's really having a hard time. Because the culture has changed. I mean, see, 10 years ago when I met my wife, when I first came to the Philippines, I actually came to the Philippines in 2009, 11 years, okay? There wasn't a lot of people didn't have cell phones, a lot of people didn't have motorcycles and access to the internet. You had to go to the internet cafe. Now a lot of people have the internet in their homes, and, the access to the internet it's given more people access to these websites. You get a lot of scammers. You get a lot of women on there that are, just asking for money. I mean, because when I met my wife, I trusted her enough that, I came over here and I met her. And she was who I thought she was.
Right.
She wasn't, playing any games or anything like that.
Right.
She was exactly who she portrayed herself to be, over the phone and over the internet. So,
right.
And that was the case with a lot of people then. But now, it's just so different. I mean, I wouldn't suggest it. Because you really don't need it. You could really just come here in the Philippines. But the women here, they're just so approachable. It's not like in the States, where if you have a beautiful woman, and you probably don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They've been told they're beautiful a million times. So, if you don't meet their qualifications, which a lot of the times are, like, their expectations are just far beyond anything I could ever live up to.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to give you the time of day, but over here it's different.
Yeah.
See, I'm a black man, and one thing I like about the Philippines is, of all the places I've been in the world, this is one of the places where I'm actually judged by my character. I don't know how Filipinos feel about black people, but they don't hate me over here.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
See, and that's so refreshing for me.
Yeah.
See, I found a place where when people see me, they don't see a suspect.
Right.
They don't follow me around. They don't harass me.
Yeah.
And they actually judged me by my character, and it was so enlightening when I first came over here. I'm free. It's like the weight of the world been lifted. I actually feel safer here than I do at home.
Yeah.
Nobody bothers me here. I mean, it's the respect that I'm given here is just far beyond anything that I receive at home. I mean, really.
That's great.
And, that's one of the good things about it.
That's great. It's we definitely have our share of problems in the U.S. After traveling all over the world. When I grew up in the U.S., I didn't see it. It wasn't until I left that I realized that we have a lot of improvement we need to make in the U.S. So I totally get what you're saying.
It's so antiquated. It's so I don't understand who benefits from that sort of attitude, because you have to realize I've been facing it my whole life. I went to, when I was in 7th grade, they started the forced busing in Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
And every morning I would have to fight the Ku Klux Klan just to go to school.
Yeah.
I mean, this is true, and after a while, when you're dealing with that your whole life, you get tired of it. You like, the hate and the violence. You say it's got to be something better, and see, I've always been looking for that better place.
Yeah.
It was always a dream of mine to move to the tropics,
Yeah,
not really the Philippines, but just the tropics.
Right. Because of the weather and stuff too, on top of everything else. I mean, it's just always
Yeah, the weather.
so nice. Yeah, so let's see.
Really nice.
Love, cost of living, people with open minds. Tell us, what else do you like about the Philippines? What else comes to mind?
Well, it's beautiful. This is a beautiful place. I don't know if I don't care if you like backpacking, if you like the beach. I mean, it's just so much. I've been coming here on and off for 10 years, and I've just begun to scratch the surface of seeing this place.
Right.
See, that's one thing about the Philippines. I mean, there's just so much to see and so much to do. I read a lot of self-help books.
Uh-huh.
And there's a book by Dorothea Brand. It's called Wake Up and Live. And one of the suggestions that she gives in the book is if you live in the country, go to the city, you know, for a little while. If you live in the city, go to the country, you know, just to get a different perspective.
Totally, yeah.
And that's really what I see over here, you know.
That's really what I've found the most educational experience of my life. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be able to go to college, and I even have a higher advanced degree. But I think where the learning really occurred for me is when you get outside of the entire paradigm where you grew up and you understand that a lot of the things that you think are fixed, the ground you think is firm that you're standing on, by being in other places, you get to see through the eyes of the world, if you will, and you really get to see, it's very eye-opening to live outside of your home country. And I've been very grateful for that experience.
Well, you're exactly right, because adapting is good for you. You know, imagine if you just stayed in the same environment your whole life, how limited your thinking would be. See, that's how a lot of my friends have been trapped.
Yeah.
In that cycle. You know, they don't travel. You know, they probably have a 6-block radius that they deal with. So, you know, it's not about learning a new language, a new culture. You see, over here, I have a great deal of respect for people because, you know, right now where I'm staying with my wife's mother, they actually built this house with their own hands. Her late husband, before he died, him and some of his friends. And, you know, that I have to take my hat off to Filipinos in that aspect, because I don't know anybody. I'm from the city,
right,
in Louisville, Kentucky, and I don't know anybody that built their own home. Everything in America is already ready-made for you. Just, you know, you move into the house. And,
yeah. When you're in the city,
you know, everything's done for you. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
at home.
it's true. I mean,
coming over here, it's just a whole new world for me.
Yeah, Chung Hoi's dad is a builder, so he obviously built his home and many other people's homes. So but different parts of Southeast Asia and South America, Central America, it's sort of like people have to wear more hats because they're, if you will, a generation or two before us, where they don't have that kind of specialization. It's certainly maybe in a few of the big cities, but not in the country. And so you really get you learn a lot. And I think it's especially useful as you know, if you spent your whole life in one country and now you're going to spend your retirement years somewhere else, it's really an eye-opener. It's educational, it's fun to learn about new foods and new places, and to just sort of open your mind up and even politics. Like, I lived in India for a while, and the world is such a different place, and yet in a general sense it works. I mean, there's always problems everywhere you go. It's not just the US that has problems, it's all over the world, but you just learn about things and you adapt, and so it's fascinating. So I'm glad to hear you've had a lot of the same experiences that I've had, and so it sounds to me like you've discovered something I've also discovered, which is when you read the U.S. State Department's webpage or you read the newspaper, you start to get these ideas that the U.S. is safe and the rest of the world is this like Wild West where everything's dangerous. But when you actually go out into the world, you find out, hey, wait a second, maybe the rest of the world is actually as or more safe than the U.S. is in many respects. And that's what I've found to be true also.
Exactly. Well, see, I learned that in the Navy, because every time we make a port call, they would tell us how dangerous the place was and not to visit a certain area. And whatever area that they told us not to visit was the area that we went to, because we knew that would be where all the action was,
Exactly.
where all the fun was. So
yeah.
I learned that in the Navy, but you're exactly right. And see, one thing I learned from coming to the Philippines is this. It's the only difference between people really is their conditions. People they're not really different over here.
Yeah.
If you put some of my friends, put me in the same situation, I'm probably going to react and live the same way as a local would here. I mean, I'm no better than the Filipinos, you know. And you asked me something else I like. I like the simplicity. I like the lifestyle here, how simple the lifestyle is. And I mean, the minute I got off the plane in 2009, I knew something was different here. I mean, it's laid back. This is a great place to do nothing, if you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's real simple, and the people here, in a lot of ways, they're more mature. I read on one of your comments that I said all the people, you know, that they act like babies over here, and you know,
yeah.
Their attitudes are like babies over here. And I had to disagree with him, because I said, really, in a lot of ways, they're more mature. And I'll give you an example. You know, because a lot of times, you know, they're too busy earning a living here to even worry about some of the petty stuff that we do at home.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I decided, you know, because it's hard for me to find a barber, I decided, you know, I'm just going to shave my hair off.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. So the people at home, they freaked out. My clients, my kids at home, my friends, you know, they're like, what you do? You cut your hair. The people over here, it's like they never even noticed it. Nobody even said anything to me about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny.
You know, and it's just the simplicity of life, because as an insurance agent, I mean, my phone is always ringing.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm always on the go. I mean, it's always, you know, go, pay this, pay that. And when I came over here, see, everything went silent.
So,
I mean, that's therapeutic in itself.
Oh, so much so. And it's simple, it's relaxed, it kind of helps you focus on what's important in life, right? I mean, you can get so caught up in every 99 problems every day when you're in the U.S. And you're not really focused on the important things, you know, your family, getting enough downtime, reading a good book, working out, eating good food. You're running around, you're eating terrible food because you don't have time to cook, or to go somewhere healthy to eat, because you just, 10 minutes and you got a next meeting, and it's like you're in molasses or something here. But the beautiful part is you just don't have to work so hard, because you don't need as much money. Or you don't, if you have retirement, right, you're able to live on what you're getting in retirement in a very natural way, and you're not worried about going to the hospital and having a $500,000 bill or stuff like that. It's just a much better way to live. It's very comfortable. So,
listening to you, it just reaffirms what I've always known, that most expats, I'm not saying all, but most expats who decide to leave outside of the United States, we think a lot alike. We think a lot alike. I've become a minimalist over here. I've realized that I don't need all that stuff. Before I start coming to the Philippines, and this is the truth, I had a 3,700 square foot home. I had a brand new convertible, a used BMW, a 330 Ci, a van, I just had all that junk.
Yeah.
And all the problems that go along with it, all the insurance payments, and, just all of that, the stress that goes along with that. That's what was driving me. That's, if I didn't want to get up in the morning, I had to get up because I had that mortgage payment. I had all that junk. And now I just realized I don't need all that stuff over here to be happy.
And talk about freedom.
That's probably the biggest thing I've learned.
The freedom that comes from that when you get up in the morning and you don't have whatever it is, a $3,000 a month, a nut you have to crack or whatever your numbers are, and you're just,
God, yeah.
It's such a weight off your shoulders. And the natural beauty
is, you can see it.
Yeah. So.
And you can see it in our faces. We look younger. I probably look 10 years younger than the people I graduated with.
Yeah.
I mean, since I came over here, I don't have one gray hair in my head.
Right on,
I shaved it off, but when it grows back, I don't have gray hair because I don't have all the stress that just automatically, the minute that I step off the plane in Chicago or wherever I fly into, it starts. The United States way of life starts. I needed another way to live, see? And that's what I forgot to tell you. See, a lot of people don't realize there's another way to live. We don't have to live that way. You got other options.
Yeah. So Calvin and I went on for another 30 minutes or so on that phone call, but I thought that was a good spot to end this video. And thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we really thank you, Calvin, for your time. What a great information. What a great call. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for watching our video. We've written retired cheap reports all over the world. Please stop by vagabondbuddha.com. Take a look at the reports we have and see if you would be interested in finding out how to live the international lifestyle for less than half of what you probably thought it would cost.